What's going on? You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I'm Mitchell Renz. 8 feet away from me is Tom Downey. We got the latest news and rumors on today's show, but we got to kick off with this going down because the NFL is releasing its schedule tomorrow, and we are going to be live, so make sure that you are subscribed. Starting at a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
A lot of the teams will start to kind of leak their schedules out a little bit earlier, so we'll have some of those. We'll break down the entire full 17-week NFL schedule on top of that. There was a very interesting report that came out that the first 4 weeks, per John Clayton, by the way, is going to be NFC versus AFC. That's going to be the first 4 weeks of the season. And our initial thought here in the office, Mitch, is that's so if they have to just cancel the first 4 weeks, you cancel the AFC, NFC games, and you're able to ensure that everyone plays the proper number of at least division games in particular.
I mean, obviously we hope that's not the case, but those NFC, AFC games technically are the ones that mean the absolute least. We hope we get all 16 games this season, but I do think it's an important thing to note. So we are going to be live tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So what I want you to do is shout out your favorite team right now and make sure that you're repping in the comment section when we are live tomorrow, because if you loved our NFL draft coverage, you're going to love the show we have in store on tap for tomorrow. It's going to be interactive. We're going to have the roulette wheel back. We're going to be bringing up questions. I guarantee you're not going to find a better source giving you the information as quick as possible and as accurate as possible than here at Chat Sports. So, Tom, tell them to subscribe.
Hit that big red button, everyone. Again, we will be live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll break down whatever schedules have come in. Then we'll get to the full week-by-week breakdown. We'll break down the Thursday night games, the Monday night games, the Sunday night games. We'll have a good time in the process as well.
Very good time. So, again, hit that sub button. Okay, let's get into the latest around Jadeveon Clowney, because 2 months into free agency, Tom, and Clowney still on the market. But according to Mark Berman, there are 5 teams that have some interest in him: the Seahawks, Browns, Ravens, Titans, and now the Eagles.
Yeah, Berman was interviewing Clowney, and that's how it really comes from Clowney himself, frankly.
Yeah.
It's a list that makes sense. I think we've mentioned pretty much all of them at some point around Clowney here on the show. His asking price has gone down. Clearly, no team has met it yet, though, and I guess equally, no, Clowney hasn't lowered it enough at this point.
I mean, that's the thing. If the price was right, I love that show. Shout out to Bob Barker. If the price was right, Clowney would have been already signed, because he's been a top 5 free agent on just about every single person's list that's ever put one out there, and he's been the number 1 guy for, I'll say, about, almost a month now. So if he wanted to sign the former first overall pick in 2014, he would have done so. And, I mean, that's why we can talk about it all the time, because I see Seahawks, Titans. Where is he going to end up going? I mean, if these are the top 5 teams interested, I am still going to put my money on the Seattle Seahawks or the Tennessee Titans.
I think Titans would be your best bet right now. I still think Cleveland might be the best fit, even though, of course, that's not who might end up signing him. You could move on from Liverpool if you wanted to pretty much equal out the salaries. You could still afford it anyway. I'd love to see him in Cleveland. I'm just not convinced there's a ton of interest right now, in large part because of the medical side of it. We don't know how healthy Clowney truly is right now, because he can't get a physical done the way you normally would be able to.
I mean, plus you got to look at money, right? You got to look at which teams are going to be able to afford Clowney, because it's not a matter of talent. It's a matter of Clowney wants to be a top edge rusher. So we went out and we found the top 5 highest paid edge rushers right now.
He ain't getting that.
And he shouldn't get that. I mean,
agreed.
I mean, Trey Flowers, I don't know if he should have got $18 million, but those other 4 are very, very talented. I mean, Frank Clark, obviously, I think is a little bit overpaid as well, but I think Clowney looks at himself, and he should be up in this list, at least according to him. I disagree. So for him, he's going to have to bite the bullet a little bit, and I think he's going to have to take a pay cut.
I think that's the reality. And I think what probably makes the most sense in the end for Clowney is wherever he signs in 2020, Mitch, it's a simple 1-year deal. He has a bounce back here, maybe finally gets that 10-sack mark, and then gets the bag next offseason.
Well, we're going to find out. So where will Jadeveon Clowney play in 2020? For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you're going to get hit with an ad break while the ad is playing. I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video, so go comment where Clowney's going to play in 2020. Let's go to Aaron Rodgers, because, of course, we got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Mike Florio, he obviously expects Rodgers to be the quarterback in 2020.
Good
but
take,
what about in 2021? So this is something that we've talked about for a long time, but the important note that I found there by Florio, he said the Packers would likely trade him to the AFC, which would be a smart move.
The tricky part here for a Rodgers trade isn't getting value back for him. It's probably not saying which guy's your franchise guy long term, because clearly it's Jordan Love. They wouldn't draft him in the first round if he wasn't. It's when you pull off the trade. You can save more money in 2021.
Yep.
It does add more dead money in 2022. But are NFL teams going to want to wait until June to trade for him? Probably not. So that presents a tricky situation for the Packers, for Rodgers. That's why I think you might see Green Bay take a big-time, salary cap hit in that first year, or maybe they try to work out kind of secret, we'll do it after June 1st to save us money, but
I think the other thing that we don't mention is, Rodgers, I don't know if he's going to be a guy who's going to be like, sure, Jordan Love, come in here. I'm going to teach you everything I know. That way you can take my job. If I'm Rodgers, I took this team to the NFC Championship game, and you guys just basically kicked me in the you-know-where and drafted my replacement. I don't know if I'd be too crazy about that. But Florio does mention the top fits for Aaron Rodgers. He notes the Las Vegas Raiders, they make the most sense.
They absolutely do.
I get it, right? They're not really committed to Mariota or Derek Carr for long term, and if you go out and trade for him, it costs the exact same as Derek Carr. The New England Patriots, so whether or not Stidham has a good year, he could be the answer there. Phillip Rivers on a 1-year, $25 million contract. If that doesn't work out, Baker Mayfield, if he looks a little bit more like 2019, not 2018. And then the Denver Broncos, we've seen it before with Elway going out and getting a veteran. Worked out pretty well last time they did it with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
But also, if Drew Lock can't get it done with the weapons, maybe it is time to move on.
I kind of, even from the Broncos perspective, more in depth there, I don't know if Elway gets to draft another quarterback. It's not often you get to miss on two of them.
My take.
Take a third. So he wouldn't have to miss on Rodgers because it's Rodgers. The ownership would sign off on that whenever that gets sorted out. So it's tricky. I think the Raiders, though, make the most sense.
I think it's a funny thing. I know you disagree with me. I think John Elway, and I've said this before on NFL Daily, is doing his best to make sure that he is the greatest quarterback in Broncos history.
Not what he's trying to do, man.
I don't know. You guys let me know. Where will Aaron Rodgers play in 2021? I see the Texans. I see the Packers, Cowboys, and yes, the Raiders are in there. Continue to get your votes in. So on Sunday, it is Mother's Day, and I hope this isn't breaking news to y'all, but there is no place better than Pro Flowers to get your mother, maybe your wife, maybe your grandmother, something special, just to show them that you care. Go to chatsports.com/mom. You're going to get 15% off flowers, chocolates, gifts. They got it all. But I don't know about you. I'm not the greatest at picking out gifts. My mom be the first one to tell you that. Luckily for you, if you go to the website, chatsports.com/mom, click bestsellers, then you get the absolute best deals. And with our deal, chatsports.com/mom, you're going to get 15% off. So flowers, chocolates. I'm not the biggest flower person personally. I'm all about chocolates.
Flowers.
Love me some chocolates. You're a flowers guy?
Flowers to buy for other people.
Flowers to buy for other people.
I personally don't care if people buy me flowers.
Okay. Chatsports.com/mom. If you can't remember it, it's in the description. It's in the comments section below. Let's now go to my man, Cam Newton. And this one kind of came out yesterday, but Stephen A. Smith thinks that Newton would be better off sitting out the start of the season rather than becoming a backup quarterback. The idea is this. You wait until a quarterback gets hurt and then maybe sign with the team.
Yeah.
Or, you just rest up and then hit free agency in 2021.
I like the first half of that, hoping that there's an injury. Sitting out the entire year?
Yeah.
That's not going to pay off in the long run, because then you will have played 2 games in 2 years, and all of a sudden we're talking about Cam Newton more like we are about Des Bryant or Eric Berry. I don't know what team's going to be like, let's bring in this quarterback who hasn't started a game in almost two seasons to be our starter. That's not how teams are going to operate. But I do think sitting out, waiting for a potential injury, and if not, then signing somewhere, probably makes the most sense for Cam.
Stephen A. Smith's argument is Cam's not a backup quarterback, and I don't actually totally disagree with him. The issue is there's not a lot of starting jobs out there, and you hit the head. If he's struggling right now to get a job, imagine him not playing for an entire season. Yes, the whole Big C situation's going on right now, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with Cam.
What phrase did you just use, by the way? Go ahead and shout out which team should sign Cam.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, because you definitely just said, I think you hit the head.
Did I?
Yeah.
Nail on the head?
Okay, so you do know it. Okay, because you're really bad with idioms. So I just wanted to make sure that you just misspoke and didn't botch another
you
one.
can play it by year or nip it in the butt. Either one is totally fine. So name a team that should go out and sign Cam Newton. Here are some teams with the best odds to sign him. So we looked up some odds here, and Newton's next team could be the Jacksonville Jaguars at plus 190, Jaguars, the New England Patriots at plus 250, Redskins, Steelers, Broncos, they round out the top 5. Tom, you're a betting man. Where are you putting your money?
I would love it to be Jacksonville because I think he could beat out Gardner Minshew. Pittsburgh would be an ideal fit, but he doesn't want to be a backup right now.
Yep.
I don't think Denver's a good option there. So I'm going to go with the field in this scenario.
You're going to go with
and
the field?
be a total coward and go with the field.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he sobers up a little bit. I think he sees that Ben Roethlisberger is not in good shape at all, and maybe that's his clearest path to being a starting NFL quarterback. Okay, let's now dive back into some free agents now. We're going to go with Logan Ryan and the latest around him. So on Tuesday, Ryan announced that he's not going to return to the Titans, which I don't really think was that groundbreaking of news. However,
when they drafted Fulton, it was pretty clear he was.
Yeah. And then now you're looking at the top cornerback in free agency. I think he's going to be looking for a one-year deal. We're going to see where Logan ends up going.
I think that much like Clowney, Ryan very much overestimated his market.
Yep.
Now he'll take a one-year deal somewhere else. We'll see exactly where that ends up being. The stats were awesome. Bunch of pass breakups, bunch of tackles for loss, 4 interceptions, and then you remember, Logan Ryan was the single most targeted corner in all of the NFL last year. Now, for a guy being targeted that much, he held up pretty well, but it certainly wasn't like, yeah, I'm number one corner material. It was like, well, you got picked on, you just weren't horrible.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't like playing fantasy football with defensive players, because a lot of times the guys who are bad are the ones that score the most points because they're getting tackles, but like you said, they're getting picked on. So where will Logan Ryan end up signing? I'm seeing a lot of people say Titans. My vote is actually in there from Colbro Gaming YouTube. You guys can go check out who he said, because that's where I think Logan Ryan is going. Let's now get into the next player here on NFL Daily. It's Leonard Fournette, and according to Jacksonville Jaguars GM Dave Caldwell, I said that really weird, Caldwell, the team is going to move forward with Fournette. I think the only issue is, I think a lot of times just because the GM said it doesn't mean the player ultimately wants it to happen.
Yeah, Fournette, he kind of was like, yeah, bring in Cam Newton. I don't think the Jags like that at all, and I think they have some issues with his attitude as well. No fifth-year option, so he's going to make his cap hit this year is a little over $8 million, which also, side note, you're paying Fournette $8.6 million, which is top-end back. That's why you don't spend an early-round pick, because you don't get the benefit of a first contract. But I think that Fournette's time in Jacksonville is about at its end at this point. Yeah. So again, here's what Dave Caldwell had to say. I think the mindset is we're going to go for it, with Leonard on the team. I had a good talk with him on Friday. I know Coach Ronis had some discussions with him as well. He played pretty well in terms of volume stats, but he has not lived up to the expectations around him, Mitch.
I think one of the reasons is because you hit the nail on the head. When you go out and get a running back, sometimes they don't stay healthy. And for the first time, realistically, though, Fournette, he did stay healthy. He played in 15 games last year. He missed only one game due to an illness, which is the very last game of the year. But if you're Fournette, you are going to make 8.6. If the Jags end up cutting him, it's like $4.3 million against the dead cap. So I think that's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's interesting because I think over the last week or two, we've seen some leaks have been like, oh, Fournette's sleeping through meetings, or he's like not showing up to things, or he's been kind of lazy. I'm interested to see what happens here with the Jags. But at the end of the day, I'm going to point my finger at the entire organization. All right, Tom, we did have some Dallas Cowboys news. Cameron Erving, he's headed to Dallas.
It's an interesting pickup here by the Cowboys because Cameron Erving is bad. There's absolutely no way around it. He's played left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle for the Browns and for the Chiefs, and he's been bad at each of them. This is, you're hoping more of a camp body. The versatility is somewhat intriguing, but even if he makes your roster, this is someone you don't actually want on the field. So he'll probably, I would think, compete with Brandon Knight and I guess maybe Mitch Hyatt and Terrence Steele as well for the swing tackle role for the Dallas Cowboys. I would prefer to see Brandon Knight out there. We saw some at least passable flashes of him this past year. They let go of Cam Fleming. Fleming was better than Cam Erving, although I guarantee you Erving's going to be pretty much a vet minimum deal with potentially no guaranteed money involved either. This is a fill out the bottom of the roster. Let me put it this way, Cowboys fans. I think he is better than Chaz Green. I'm not sure by how much, actually, though. Like, he's that bad. He gets worked. And, like, he was a big reason why the Chiefs almost lost Super Bowl because he got worked by Bosa in that game. He was bad this year. So the versatility is intriguing. As long as it's cheap, no guaranteed money, it's totally fine.
Okay, so we want you to grade the signing, Cameron Erving to the Dallas Cowboys. It's an A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know. And if you haven't already subscribed to Tom's channel, make sure that you do. And make sure you got those notifications turned on.